What is your? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching who are very familiar with you and your theories on Sasquatch. But for those who aren't, can you give us like a rundown on what you think about when it comes to Sasquatch?
Yeah, it's an interdimensional being that jumps through portals, pretty
Yeah,
much.
and do you think? I'm sure we all can agree on that, right, Wesley? I know Wesley agrees with that.
I have theories.
Wait, what are your theories?
Mine are similar, more similar to Joel, where that they're part of a remnant species. You know what I mean?
Like they've been around for a while. They're not
Yeah.
interdimensional, or are they interdimensional but
Sure,
also a
sure.
remnant species?
Right, but like a remnant relic species that we that pre-existed us, and like if you've listened to everything that's ever been on Tony or Wes's show about it, you start to see that there's some sort of like human component to it, obviously, like genetically, but beyond that, there's such a breadth in what the experience is, whether it's positive or negative. And the people that have like a positive experience, it's like they look at it and they go, "Oh my gosh, its eyes were so human." And the people that have a negative experience are like, "This is a demon." And it's like, well, where else do we see that in humans? Right? Like they are a vessel to be used by spiritual warfare as well. And then what Dogman is, I don't even know. It's like I heard Tony talk about it, where he's like, people see it and it's a mist. Like he's a mist.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's like more interdimensional like existence. Like so I what you just said, I mean there's a video that I always reference in that, and it's the Facebook live video out of Florida that happened years ago. This guy saw something run underneath a street light. He goes on Facebook, posts about it. People are commenting, so he goes live on Facebook, and he's on video live on Facebook, and he's I'd say about 3 minutes into this 30-minute video, and he's showing people the street light that this thing runs under. And as he's showing people, it runs underneath it again live on Facebook. And what you see run underneath it was not purely physical. You could see it, but it was definitely translucent. It was definitely something that was not totally physical. Material is metaphysical. And that's where the idea that the longer they're in this realm, the more physical they become comes from. But that guy spent the next like 25 minutes freaking out, answering questions, because people saw it too. Then they were all just talking about it while he was live. And when you watch the video, like the guy, you can tell the guy ain't no tech savvy guy that has the ability to pull a hoax off on live Facebook like that. I mean, yeah, he doesn't strike me as a genius. Let's put it that way.
Do these vapor entities and all this stuff, are they all products of the spiritual warfare in your mind, like slipping through the other side? Do you believe they're being brought here? Or
I think they're coming. I think they're definitely coming here, but you can definitely bring them here too. Like the lady that you were talking about. In fact, what you said on Tim's show years ago is probably one of the first instances that I heard that I was like, that's interesting to ponder and think about. But I definitely, through talking with people over the years and understanding more and more about the supernatural spiritual element and how you can conjure things, I think there's definitely situations where people are purposely bringing them here. I believe they're making them here. But they definitely do exist. In my opinion, my crazy man opinion, I think that they definitely do exist in other realms, and they do hold the keys to open the door to come here whenever they want to. And they can pop in and out, and we don't have that ability like they do.
Right.
But
And what you're referencing is I talked to a woman who claimed to have been at like a mystery school. Some people call it mystery school, some people call it mystery college, but she said the government was opening up portals to bring in beast, and she saw this dog-like beast just run through the portal, and they just let it loose. I keep thinking of like Ghostbusters when the evil dog is running around. And I think that's not far from the truth, honestly. Especially now that deeper I'm into just like straight up, we're in a battle of good and evil. I think these beasts are evil and they're being let in. And I think they're being, not all of them, some of them just come here, like you're saying. They might have a key to the door to walk into our reality. But we're also bringing them in for various reasons.
they can be killed though. If they're here and they're physical, they can be killed.
Can you walk us through that?
Blow their head off with a 10 millimeter.
Okay. Is that what you would have done if you saw like an entity?
I carry a 10 millimeter with me when I'm out there. When I go out in the woods, that's what I carry because
smart.
The 10 millimeter, they say, can take down a bear. So it's the most convenient, accessible, easy way to carry a large caliber on my hip. I've had to pull it out once, but there's a guy. He's never been on my show. He's been on tons of people's shows. I was one of two guys that he first told together at a conference. He sat down and told us this story, and he wound up going on his show and then all these other people's shows. And I'm this kind of person. I'm like, I don't like retreading stuff, and you have a killer story, but I don't like feeling like I'm sloppy fifths,
Yeah, oh, I hear you.
And so I've been talking with him. His name's Joe. He's a great guy, and he is going to be on my show. But when he's in Knoxville, like, he's going to come in studio. We're going to have a real conversation face to face about it.
That's great.
So his story, long story short, truck driver, and he's in Michigan. He had a brake problem at night. He gets out, and his truck is pulled over on the side of a hill. And he gets out and looks at his brake lines. He fixes the issue. He has a full load, and he starts driving up the hill again. Now, as a former trucker, I understand this. Like, you are not going to get your truck that's a full load going up the hill fast at all. Right. Like, you're probably going to climb that hill at 20, 25 miles an hour max, depending on how heavy the load is. You're not going to get going fast. So he starts going up the hill, and he sees movement. Now, when you're driving, you're always taught to be looking in your mirrors. Like, the truckers, they're constantly looking both sides of the mirrors, making sure the trailer's not sliding around, nothing crazy's happening. You got to worry about cars coming up and trying to pass you. You got to know if their car's passing you, because you're driving a 53-foot trailer plus a cab that's 15 feet. That's a lot of time that they need to have in order to pass you to begin with. So there's a lot of things you're constantly looking at. And he's taken off, and he's looking at his mirrors, and he notices on his passenger side there's something coming up on the side of his truck. And basically this monster, dog man, a dog-looking creature running on its hind legs that's so tall that it had to duck down to look inside his window. Now, tractor trailer, when you're sitting in a tractor trailer, if you're sitting in your truck and say you have your air ride seat lifted and you're about halfway, some guys like riding it real high, some guys like doing the low rider, say it's halfway, your head is about 9 feet up in the air from the ground. Yeah. So if this thing is ducking down, we're talking to like a 10-foot creature. Yeah. And he said the head was so big, it basically filled up the entire window. And it runs up next to the truck and it lowers its head and looks in the window at him. And I don't remember the type of handgun he had. It was bigger than 10 millimeter. It was a big boy gun. And he had it on the side, and I've held the gun. Because he's been to my studio, just never been on the show. It's a long story. But the last time he was here in the studio, he brought the gun and he showed me what he used. And he grabs it, points, and blows his freaking face off. And he goes up the hill a little bit more, turns around, because he wanted to basically come down the hill and run it over, because he was terrified of this thing. Wow. So he comes down the hill, and when he arrives to the scene, there's a car pulled over, and I think he said there's like two people out there, and he pulls over and he's like, "You guys okay?" And they said, "Yeah, there was a bear out here, and another bear just drug it off." And and he's like, "There wasn't no bear." But there's been plenty of theories that maybe those were agents, and he killed something that was actually a piece of technology. Up there in Michigan, I've recently been told that there is a wolf farm that is creating these, and so was it one of those things that got loose? There's a lot of people who believe that these are being created in deep underground bunkers that are more not interdimensional but synthetic.
What do you mean wolf things? Like they're making actual monsters, like wolf type monsters?
Giant monster wolves that have technology in them that they're able to call back in. They let them out and they can call them back in. And so there's that idea behind it. And I think there's more to the story with Joe than he's actually relayed to me. And I think he's planning on dumping a whole lot on me when he does.
I hope so. That's amazing.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
What do you think? There's a lot of truckers who have paranormal experiences because they're on the road all the time at night?
Yeah. My dad, he drives at night. He goes from Allentown, Pennsylvania up to I think it's Mass. Yeah, he goes up to Massachusetts every night.
I know Allentown quite well.
Yeah, I was born in Allentown.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So, but truckers, they see stuff at night. A lot of truckers will see like a black hellhound That's a common thing that truckers will talk about. I think there's a song made about it or a movie or something. But truckers do see some crazy things, but a lot of it happens in the skies. They talk about, seeing crazy things happen up in the skies. But there's tons of stuff that happen on the roads too. Even if it's not like a monster, sometimes you have a monster deer run out in front of you and you smack that thing. You talk about a bomb going off.
I've seen it.
Like
I've seen it.
You'll see smears going down the side of that trailer, and it just
It paints the whole road red.
Oh yeah,
And the truck.
You always know when a tractor trailer hit a deer because it's just an explosion on the road.
There's no deer. It's just a stain, a giant red stain. I didn't drive a truck like you drove, but I drove a box truck for a long time. It was a 20-footer. I never hit anything, but I was always like, if this thing hits anything, it's over. It's ridiculous. So like the weight that you guys are pushing is crazy.